I feel like Shane would put on like slow jazz, you know,
I
something
can
like
see that.
Maybe he
Like
would, if he was
acapella.
getting real spicy, maybe he would put on like some like, yeah, you don't want to.
Okay, so this is very exciting. Highly anticipated new show, Heated Rivalry, coming out November 28th on Crave. Hudson Williams and Connor Storrie. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So 2 star hockey players. They have kind of a fling, and then it turns into so much more.
Flings.
Multiple flings. They get flung. So I want to start with the hockey of it all, though, because you guys are playing star hockey players, but neither of you could skate, or at least you couldn't skate.
I could waddle. I could date skate is what I say. Like I could do like a thing around in a circle, and then I could go the other way. I could go both directions. And that's where...
Which, if you don't know skating, that's really impressive.
That's hard. And that's where the skills ended. And then I had to learn so much more and fall a lot. But
we both, I mean, once we met each other in the read-through, we both spent like 3 weeks just texting each other being like, I'm going to the ice skating rink today. Are you going? So we kind of had a rivalry before we
a
even
little
started.
bit of a competition.
Yeah.
So how much training did you have to do for that?
Well, we kind of...
It was a lot.
We did the initiative on our own before we even knew that we got the part, being like, well, I live in LA, he lives in Vancouver. And so we're both like, I'm going to just start skating in case, you know, I don't want to show up in, you know, a month and look like an idiot on the ice. But then when we got to Toronto, we had 2 weeks with Cam, our hockey coordinator, and he did like drills with us, got us in all of our gear, like pretty much taught us how to look, you know.
Even
It's
days
funny-
when we wouldn't shoot,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
would
yeah.
go and do some skate.
It's funny
practice.
because a lot of the hockey stuff wasn't actually like playing hockey. It was something as simple as like standing up, like holding your stick. You know what I mean? Because it's all those little nuances.
There's the nuance too of like how you get a water bottle from over the little thing,
Right.
and then how you would lean over it. It's like some
you
people
interact
would
with your
just kind of bend over
gloves.
like this. And like no, you hit your hip against it. You go over, you grab your water bottle. So it was so much nuance that we kind of had to learn.
Let's be honest. Like we could train for 5 years every day and like never look like NHL players. So it was really those little bitty things that I think sell it ultimately.
Yeah.
So you guys aren't going to be tagging into a game now?
Maybe eventually after season, if we get another season,
Yeah.
we get some, yeah.
Or if we have a few beers,
Yeah.
a little bit of confidence going in.
Yeah.
Were there any skating incidents during filming?
Not for us.
Oh well, Francois.
Yeah, Francois hurt himself at one point.
He fell down and put his
cut
hand out
himself on his skate.
right on his.
But
own
he was
skate.
such a champ about it too. We were all so proud because that's
Yeah.
kind of like the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to go to
On
the
his
doc-
last day of
Yeah,
hockey.
yeah.
On his
No.
last shot
Yeah.
of hockey.
Yeah, but we were all so proud of him
Yeah.
because it was like I actually think he did that. They bandaged him up, and I think he did
He
another
came back and then
take.
he did it again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we were all like, "Yeah."
I hope you
kudos
guys
to
clapped. Did the like? Well
We
done,
weren't
welcome
even
back.
there.
We were,
Yeah, but we would have.
I saw it. I saw it happen,
Oh, you
and I
were
was
there.
like, "This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen." And yeah,
Yeah, I clapped from afar.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And were you guys hockey fans before the show?
no.
I grew up in a hockey town, but I was not a fan. I was the opposite of a fan, and now it's my favorite team sport. So I've had the arc with hockey. Yeah.
I grew up in West Texas, and so hockey was not a huge deal. But we had a team there, and they were called the Jackalopes. It was like a jackrabbit with antlers.
Okay, love that.
Which I also thought was a real animal until I was probably like 12 years old.
I definitely knew it wasn't.
Yeah. Okay. And so actually, one of the dudes who was one of the professional hockey players that played, not one of our doubles, but played one of the hockey players that we play against. He was on that team the time that I was living in Texas, and I think I went to like 1 or 2 games when I was a kid. And I'm like, I definitely saw that guy. So I don't think I answered your question at all.
I liked the answer. You were like
wanna
kind of
edit
a hockey
it
fan. You're a
back.
huge Jackalopes fan. That's all I'm hearing. Number
like,
one
Didn't know
Jackalopes
Go
hockey,
fan.
but you liked the Jack.
Go Jacks. I don't even know if that's what they say. but-
They do now.
yeah.
And I feel like we see sort of the same love stories over and over again. So it's so refreshing to see one that I feel like we haven't seen before. So what does it mean to you to be a part of it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Just gratitude. Even when I read it, it felt very new and fresh and important. It felt sort of like an honor I could even read for it. So I took just the audition seriously, and then the callback was enough of an ego boost and sort of enough gratitude to fill me up as an actor. And then the fact that I actually got to carry this thing through to the end was still sort of overwhelming and surreal, because I do really love the story and I love what it means.
Yeah, and it's also just so specific, right? Like, hockey, queer at a different time, spans so many places. And I think that when it's really specific, people can really actually latch on to it. Like, I think sometimes stories are afraid to be really specific because they don't want to ostracize anyone. But I actually think that people relate to really genuine human experiences. I think that people know what it's like to feel on the outside of something. People know what it feels like to have pressure either from family or society. So yeah, it's cool, and it's also just really entertaining, you know. So I think it's entertaining.
Well, and it's so unique too, because at least in the first few episodes, like everything is so far apart.
Totally.
It's like so many months go by, and you're like, "What?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah,
More?"
Yeah. And then when you do have those moments, when you set that up, if that's our foundation, when you break that, if there's any moments of stillness or you stay with something for longer than a scene or two, then it's like, whoa, this is what it's like when it's still.
You almost hold your breath a little bit.
Yeah.
And what has the response been like even before the show has come out?
I didn't feel it too much when like, obviously it was a little surreal when I started hearing like the buzz around the internet, people sort of like finding us before it's even announced. But I really underestimated the size it could possibly grow to until now, which is like, it still feels sort of like a steady crawl up, maybe more than a crawl.
Because the show still hasn't even come out.
No.
Yeah.
But it's already so buzzworthy.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool because I think we have like two kind of groups going on. I think we have people who are obsessed with these characters in the story from the fandom, from loving the book. And then I think there's a whole new wave of people that are seeing it from the ads or seeing it from the internet or hearing the buzz. So it's really cool to have like two different dynamics going on. I'm really interested to see what, you know, the people who aren't familiar with the books with before, what their takeaways are, you know, because they're going to obviously appreciate different elements of it, not knowing these characters beforehand.
Well, and the fans were screaming for an international release.
Yeah.
That was what I first noticed, like, because back before it was announced that it's happening, I noticed in the comments, like, the YouTube comments were intense. I'm going to be honest. They were like, back for my daily rewatch of the trailer since I'm not going to get to watch the show.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you're getting that international release. So how did that news feel?
I think that was the dream scenario that we could have
totally.
imagined. Like, we were both going like, well, the dream would be, you know, Crave is already the dream, but then HBO would be, you know, surreal. And then that phone call that I came a little late to the FaceTime. 4 minutes late, and then getting that news, I thought they were messing with me. But
Yeah, it's super, it's incredible. One, I'm gonna be able to watch it now. You know, I had some fans beforehand. They were considering getting me a Crave account this certain way in order for me to be able to watch my own show. You know, like
I love this.
Yeah, so people were really like, I'm gonna fly to Canada and I'm going to stay there and I'm gonna watch this show. It's funny because I thought that after the international release was announced that it would be there'd be a lot more elation, but now all the other countries that don't have it are like
jealousy.
now everyone's like, come to Brazil, like we need this in Poland, you know.
Yeah.
So
Okay, we'll just start a bunch of petitions.
yeah,
We'll get a bunch of petitions.
It's definitely rolling. I think they're going. They're going.
And I know you guys have addressed this a lot, the chemistry that the two of you have, because the director talked about how part of the reason you were cast is because of how great you guys were together. How early did that start for you?
I remember the first time I met him in person, we had a little FaceTime. We got along. I think there was a overlap of like common interests and art we both liked. And then when we had our first shopping trip, which was the first thing we did, is we went to this very small little grocery store. And then I think immediately, it was just sort of a clicking started taking place.
Yeah, it's kind of like friends, you know, like there's certain people that you just meet at parties or whatever where they just kind of speak your language. We also have a lot of like you said, interest crossover, which we can get pretty niche. We're both kind of film geeks and we like kind of, you know, the bizarre, the art, the uncanny, you know. So I think we had a lot of crossover with our interest. And yeah, obviously also if we got to this point, that I think that says something about both of us individually. Like it makes sense that if we find ourselves in this scenario, we're gonna get along. And I just feel really blessed because think about it, this could have been so like not easy. If it was like everything is setting it up to not be easy.
Yeah.
And we just lucked out. We totally lucked out.
I think I sort of fell in love with Connor as a person at this one point. It was the first day we met in person. and then we were just outside of our residence, and then there was like a car that passed. Do you remember this?
Yes.
And then they were just kind of screaming at us, and then like there was like a tongue movement going on.
This kid was
like
you
there
know,
was
like
these
how
kids in
kids
this
in
car.
public they try to do the thing where
and
they're like, I'm gonna weird you out.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And then Connor, I think, scared them.
I
You
was
know,
like-
they were already trying to scare us, and then eventually, I think their eyes kind of went bigger because I think we out freaked them. They
You
didn't.
know what I mean, right?
We
Like
out
13-year-olds
freaked.
What did you
them.
do,
Freaked.
though?
At 13-year-olds at a mall will
He
be
was
like, we'll be
making
like, oh,
demonic-
or
Yeah.
something. And so he was like, ah, and then I was like, ah.
and it kept going, and then I was just looking at him like, oh, I can be myself.
Yeah.
'Cause that's in me. You know, I can relate with whatever this
Yeah,
is.
I mean,
Can't-
you did that for me too. You were,
Yeah. I think the weirdness really tied us in.
I'm obsessed with that. And if you guys got along at the grocery store, that says a lot because the grocery store is a
Yeah.
nightmare.
Well, you know what
you
was
did
terrible,
take too
terrible
long.
place.
No,
You
you
took
know
a
what was
little
funny
too
about
long,
that
I'll say
was,
that.
like
Coconut
I
cream.
just gotten off of like a 6-hour flight coming from LA, and it was so weird to see him in person and know we're about to go on this huge journey. It was my first time in Canada. Like I was like studying Russian. Like my mind was all over the place. So I probably looked like a crazy person in there because I was like, I need coconut cream. And
He kept saying
chia
coconut cream. I
seeds."
need coconut cream and chia seeds.
And so he was just like following me around
And
as
it
I was
spent-
like,
we
just
spent
taking
35 minutes
random
looking for
stuff.
coconut
Yeah.
cream.
I looked like a crazy person, but I was on one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before I let you go, one more question because we are iHeartRadio.
Mm.
If things are about to get steamy, because this is a romance, what song are you putting on?
As Ilya and Shane, or as
Both.
I feel like Shane would put on like slow jazz, you know, something
can
like
see that.
Maybe he would, if he was
acapella.
getting real spicy, maybe he would put on like some like cigarettes after sex. You know, I feel like he would play.
What are you putting on?
I'm not answering that one.
Oh, okay.
I'm no music.
He's like heavy death metal.
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah,
Norwegian
yeah.
death metal.
Techno.
The
rap.
fact that you
Yeah,
won't
yeah,
answer
trap.
does lead me to believe it's something strange. But okay, what's your answer?
I'm trying to think because if there's something with too much of a beat, then I feel like you try to match the rhythm.
Yeah, you
or
don't want to.
something,
You don't
know
want
what
to
I mean?
thrust
Or, like,
to beats.
And
is,
it's
is
also
my
like
concern.
if you're, I'm not super big on lyrics, but I feel like if the lyrics are too audible, then you're just kind of like listening to someone. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but it also feels too on the nose if it's about romance or love or sex.
That's a tricky thing.
So yeah, I would probably do something instrumental and beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, like some sort of classical something.
I'll ditto that answer.
Yeah.
Put on Bach.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
is Ilya
Ludwig
putting
van
on?
Beethoven,
Perfect.
Chopin.
What is Ilya doing?
Ilya's probably doing Skriptonit, which is like this like rapper, kind of like thug out a little bit, but he has some really cool ballad stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Heated Rivalry, November 28th on Crave. Watch it. You're going to love it.
Woo!
Thank you so much for coming in,
Thank
guys.
you so
Thank
much.
you.